Ever come on up here? Someone's supposed to do somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Itzel, and thank you, Dave.
Way to go, Itzel.
Congratulations.
Moving on now to the Umatilla Chamber of Commerce 2025 quarterly report. Mr. Barron.
Josiah Barron, Umatilla Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Council, Mayor. So I have my report here for June through August. Lots of growth still going on, and you'll see there on the first page, I have actually added some pictures of the Chamber Board of Directors this time. You probably saw in your packet. So we now have 92 new members. So still lots of room for growth, but lots of growth that has happened. It's exciting to see the Umatilla Chamber continue to grow as new businesses open in Umatilla, a big, large part due to the great business development grants that the city has been offering. And next, you'll see some of the growth for our social media still lower for the followers than we'd like to be. I'm really shooting for finally getting to that 1,000 mark, but it's been slowly growing over time. So if none of you are following the Umatilla Chamber of Commerce Facebook or Instagram page, make sure you follow that, see updates that are going on with our local businesses and other organizations around the area. We are continuing to add events on our community events page. I always try to, yeah, it's on the next page there, Nancy. Sorry, I was skipping ahead of you. But on our community developments or community events calendar, there's a lot of events that get put on there of our chamber members, and I also try to keep the city events updated on there as well. Sometimes I do get behind a little bit, but a new thing we started is called our Local Faces Friday. If you've seen any of those posts on our social media about highlighting some of the different owners or staff members or chamber member businesses in the local area, just a little bit to get to know them. And it's also been great working with Jasenia from the city of doing the local commerce spotlight in the city's quarterly newsletter. You can see in the one I put there for the fall spotlight, it was Berto's painting and remodeling right here in Umatilla. Then some of our networking, we've been having our quarterly events once again this year. We had our, I see I still had March there, but it was the June luncheon. So the June luncheon, we had Acapulco cater and make out delicious tacos right there. Really enjoyed it. We're now averaging about 18 people. So there was 18 people coming, and then at the March one, there was about 23. So from last year, we were averaging about a dozen, and now we're up to about 15 to 18 people. So the luncheon have been growing to a good opportunity to connect. And then this year, or this quarter, I should say, we had 2 ribbon cuttings that we got to host. One for American Pacific Mortgage. For those of you that came to that, thank you, Councilor Funderburk, for attending that. And also Kevin Roth, he's been hosting his concealed carry classes there at the chamber when he has those. We had one of those this quarter. Then the chamber was glad to help out the city for Umatilla Landing Days again this year. I partnered with Marla with Parks and Rec for sponsorship outreach, but then we also had worked with the county sheriff to organize the boat rides again for Lanny Days, which there was 125 people that got to go out on boat rides that the county sheriff was doing. It's always a super popular event. There was people coming even after we stopped at 5. So, well, actually, we had to stop at 3:30, I believe, signups because we had so many people signed up just to go out. So great job to the city on Umatilla Landing Days, and it's always great working with Parks and Rec. Then taking a look at some of the publications, we've worked on upgrading our brochure Umatilla guide for Rock the Locks from last year. This year we've added a map in there. The map, all the credit goes to Luke from Parks and Rec for the map, and then I've worked on designing, connecting with the local businesses and getting the band schedule and all shuttle information, all kinds of other, both all the information we would know that festival attendees would want, but then putting all the local information around it so it's right in front of their face, see if we can drive a little bit more traffic to Umatilla businesses as each year as Rock the Locks goes along. And then if you haven't picked up a Umatilla visitor guide yet, we still have them at the chamber office, or they're distributed around a lot of the local businesses in Umatilla, Hermiston, and the surrounding areas, as well as we've got some sent up to the Tri-Cities Welcome Center and the Union County Chamber of Commerce and over at the Boardman Chamber of Commerce. They're spreading the word. And then we started development on our 2026 visitor guide, and it will be in English and Spanish for next year, and looking forward to working with that. And then I just had 2 quick announcements for upcoming events. Speaking of our new businesses, there is a ribbon cutting and grand opening for Northwest Steel Building Structures. So up there on Bucks Corner, it's going to be custom built sheds. New business owner. He's a local to the Hermiston area graduate. But this Saturday, September 6th at 12:30 p.m., if you're able to make it. And then the following week, on Friday, September 12th at 4:30 p.m., we had our first Stanfield business join the Chamber of Commerce, because Stanfield doesn't have a Chamber of Commerce over there. So Heather's Fashion Boutique is a new business in Stanfield opening, and we're hosting a ribbon cutting over there. You can find all this information too on our website at umatilla.chamber.org, or our events calendar, or our social media on Facebook and Instagram. And then the last thing I'm remembering, Judy, just a reminder that the Umatilla Museum meetings are now on the second Thursday at 9 a.m. If there wasn't any other questions, council, that's all I had today.
No, I do want to mention, Josiah, I've been up here for just over 3 years now. I want to say thank you so much for your hard work during that 3 years. And it's amazing to see the amount of growth and the increase in chamber members and all the hard work and effort that's gotten us to this point. And great job. Keep it up. You're making a difference in our community. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, that'll go on note.
Was that something, Councilor Smith?
Yeah, I was new to the council. Was wondering how much transient room tax funds the chamber received.
Yes, so off the top of my head, so I believe so we get it each quarter, the city sends it out each quarter, and for the third quarter, I believe it was about 17,900 I believe, if that's sounding about, am I forgetting to include because there's the quarterly there's 2 parts, because there's a quarterly contribution that the city provides for our contract agreement to help out with Landing Days, Rock the Locks, or other different things, and that's 5,250 plus then the transient lodging tax. And if this is sounding wrong, Dave, you can correct me, because I'm just trying to remember or Melissa, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, but I can make sure to send over that specific information too, if council needs to have that.
Melissa, do you have it off the top of your head?
I'm pulling it up right now. The last quarter was 17,989 and the previous quarter was 13,822. The total for 2024, those are both 25 numbers.
Yeah, I
Was
didn't.
61,000.
Really on the spot. I was just
Oh,
curious.
you're fine. It's about 61 to 70,000 a year.
Perfect. Thank you, Melissa. Any further questions or comment for Josiah before he heads out? Okay, thank you very much again. Appreciate
All
your
right,
time.
thank you.
Thank you, Josiah.
Dave, over to you for the pedestrian bridge ribbon cutting.
Yeah, we got everyone together in the room and we've talked about it a little bit. So now we just need to pull out your calendars and let's pick a day and time where we can celebrate the opening of the bridge. That's what we'd like to see if we can get that on the calendar here. Not sure if there's a day or of the week that worked better. Weekends are better, mornings are better. Thought it might be, if people are willing to get up a little early, you could do maybe like a 7 a.m. sort of thing, or you could do something sort of later in the afternoon. But whatever works best for you, each of you.
Evening.
I heard a vote for weekends or evenings. We got one vote for weekends or evenings. Is
I'm good
anyone
with evenings or weekends either.
evenings or weekends again? Okay. Gonna stick to Tuesdays or do you want to branch out? Gonna do it Tuesday evening at 7 on the third Tuesday of September.
I mean, if you'd like, we could do it maybe 6 p.m. next the 16th before your next council meeting. We can maybe do something like that.
Yeah.
That way you're
Okay.
going everyone from there and then coming over here. If that's something we'd like to do.
What was your time on that again, Dave?
I had 6 p.m. on Tuesday the 16th. Does that seem like a good time for most?
That all sounds good so far. Get lots of head nods, lots of pen scribbling. Can we get a motion for that, please?
All right.
A motion for it?
Maybe. The only thing that I need to know is if I can have 4 of you there, I need to make that announcement that there's a possibility of a public meeting if we have 4. But if we don't have 4, we don't need to make that announcement.
Let's just vote on it. Any other questions?
Oh, do we need to say that?
Looking for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We do the official ribbon cutting on 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 16th. Is that correct?
Thank you very much for your motion. We get a second to the motion, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. First and seconded. Can I get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff, Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan, Counselor McLean.
We'll notice it.
Carries.
We'll notice it as a separate meeting from this one, but we'll put the notice out at the same time. And if we don't get 4 of you, that's okay. We have a notice out that you'll all
Good.
possibly be gathered there at that time. We'll have 1 item on the agenda, pedestrian bridge cutting. That'll be the only item on the agenda.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, moving on now to general announcements. Dave?
All right. Well, first I wanted to introduce to you on joining us on Zoom is Joanna Lyons Atlee. She is a new attorney of record for the city. So we did our nationwide search for an attorney. We interviewed, we had 3 total candidates, interviewed 2. We had more than that apply. We had 3 that were going to come, and then 1 from the Midwest canceled on us like last minute. So we had 2. Joanna actually came recommended from peers at the League of Oregon Cities and others that took aside from at OCCMA, from City of Madras, and from others. So we're really excited to have her here. It's a little bit different. We were going to have this set up as a full-time employee, but and I'll let her talk about this a little bit more as well. But she also runs a family business, and the way that worked, it was going to perhaps interfere with what we have here. And so what we've done instead is set up as a contract for 6 months instead of a 6-month probation as an employee. We do a 6-month contract this way, and then if things are looking great there, we can go out for bid and we can open it up again that way. But after about the last 4 months now, sort of being in between attorneys, we're happy that she's here. But I wanted to give her an opportunity to introduce herself.
Well, thank you, City Manager, Mayor and Council. I want to say thank you for this opportunity. It's been fantastic meeting your tremendous staff. I'm so excited to be able to do this. I've been working for roughly about 25 years in and out of different areas of government law. I've been a county council, I've been a city attorney, I advise special districts. So this is a fantastic opportunity for me. My plan is to be there with you all next time you have a meeting. And for any future city council meetings. So you shall see my presence next time and not just see me on the magic screen. So one thing I know that Dave mentioned was that I do have a family business. In fact, I am probably the most unusual city attorney that you'll ever meet, but I actually have a CDL, can run a dump truck. And so I have a fleet of 5 dump trucks and 5 water trucks that work in construction all over the Northwest. And unfortunately, I cannot run. I cannot be a full-time employee. So this is the perfect compromise for me. And I'm really hoping in the next 6 months that we'll decide that we just can't live without each other. So thank you.
I think that's amazing that you're doing both of them. Yes.
That's exciting.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
that kind of bodes well to the city of Umatilla because a lot of us wear a lot of different hats. So it kind of fits right in.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
David, anything else?
And then just a general announcement as far as a couple mailings will be coming out of City Hall this month. We're just gonna say mid-September, so anywhere between roughly the 10th and 20th of this month, there'll be a survey going out about broadband, your broadband experience at your home. We're continuing working with the city of Hermiston, who's done a lot of work prior to their presentation to you a few months back. So this is just you'll see a mailing come out. It'll have several different logos on it. It'll have our logo. It'll have our consultants' logos and information about broadband. That is an official mailing. It's not a scam. So I wanted to make sure that we put that information out there now because a lot of times it's unique. It's not something normal that comes out. So we get a lot of questions on that. And then with Rock the Locks coming up here at the end of this month, we have mailings that will go out to the neighbors in McNary. There's 2 mailings there. It'll provide information for anybody in the area there with a complaint hotline or any general hotline that'll run 24 hours during the event. But it also serves as your parking pass. So to make sure that we don't get an inundation of people from outside the area filling up the streets and parking there, we give you these parking passes. And so there's 2 different types of passes. So there's those that live on Deschutes and east. We'll get one that says Deschutes parking pass. It'll be one color, and there'll be everybody else in McNary that lives to the west of Deschutes will get that. It'll be a perforated, so it'll have both information and a perforation. You'll be able to rip it up or divide it and then be able to use that as a parking pass. If you need more than 2 parking passes, no problem. Just call City Hall. We can get you that for your house there. So again, this is just for vehicles that park on the street. So if you park in your driveway or if you park in your garage, you need a pass for that. Other than that, I don't think I had any others.
Great. Thank you, Dave. Moving on now to public comment for this evening. The public comment section allows community members to share their opinions, raise concerns, and provide information directly to City Council. Comments should address city-related issues and must pertain to items not scheduled for a public hearing on the same evening's agenda. If you wish to speak, please complete the sign-up form, including the topic which you wish to address. Please begin by stating your name, address when called to the podium. Speakers are allotted 5 minutes unless otherwise directed. Please note, comments criticizing city programs and operations are permitted during this segment. However, criticisms of individual city employees is not allowed during the public comment period. Concerns regarding city employees should be submitted in writing to the city's human resource manager for proper review. Thank you for your cooperation. First this evening, we have Glenn Bradley.
Howdy, Glenn Bradley, 732 J Street, Umatilla. I would like to know what we're doing about our recent shooting sprees. We've had what, 3, 4 in our neighborhood in 4 days? Well, we come up with about 40 rounds. We live here. We got kids here. You got people living down the west end of the sport field where our kids go practice football, play. This is not a way for us to live. We have no streetlights, one by Jeff's house. It's dark. Okay? You got kids running up and down to school. I leave at 3 a.m. Other one of my drivers leave at 1 a.m. You got so much traffic on the back street. We had curfews growing up. These kids are 12, 13, 14 years old. We need to do something about this. We don't see no police present. It's terrified. We've had 2 rigs shot up, a house, a couple garages. That's this week. What's next week? We need answers. You know, we got a beautiful 730. It's like having a show car with the back end not done. Walk through that building that faces 730, you're in the slums. We need to clean this up, people. These are our tax dollars. They need to be spent on our places, not somewhere else or other projects. We got to take care of our backyard before we worry about the rest. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jeff Cashman.
Jeff Cashman at 838th Street. He pretty much mentioned what I wanted to say and stuff, all except for we're getting things stolen off our buildings and stuff. Like I had the sheriff come out when we bought the house and he told me exactly what to put on my no parking signs. And somebody last week on Tuesday stole it off my garage door, a no parking sign. And then I put a pole in the ground and put one on it. And I haven't heard anything from the police after I reported it and stuff. They came and took the information, but I haven't heard squat. And then I'm one of the houses that got shot up. I had 20 rounds alone in my shops. My wife's brand new car that hasn't even had its first oil change had a bullet shot into it. So, I mean, my wife is scared to be at home. And our neighbor's house, it was the first one hit, and they've got multiple shots into it. And I was just wondering if anything's going to be done. Because we're not seeing any more patrols, at least at night. And I mean, I leave at 1 o'clock in the morning, and the only officer or the only police officers I see are up on the hill, parked waiting for a speeder to go by when he might see 1 or 2 cars. That's it. So I just wonder if we can get some more patrols.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Val Bradley.
Well, obviously, my complaint's the same as all the rest of them that live in that neighborhood, and I know there's not enough place to go around, and I know that things are getting bad everywhere. It's not just here. Portland's having riots right now. I mean, it's bad everywhere. But if we could get some lighting down there, that might deter some of it. Dave, thank you for letting, listening to what I got to say and everything. I sent him some pictures. It's dark. It is very dark. There's lots of dark corners. There's lots of, the alleys are, I mean, it's scary down there. And I was out there at 8:45 and it was scary. I took my pictures and went back in the house. Sunday night, I'm sitting there watching TV and I hear this zoom, 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 those cars. I ducked down. I don't want to live that way. I don't want to live that way. It's not okay. None of us do. And I don't know if you guys are doing anything about it. I hope so.
Sorry, ma'am. Can you tell me what were your address again?
732 J Street.
Okay, thank you.
And this, this stuff's just really gotten worse in the last couple of years. I don't know, but right now we don't feel safe down there. So if we could spend some of the money that we got in this town, so maybe get some lights down there. So maybe that'll deter them a little bit. And the shootings went on right above the sport field, right above where our kids play. I don't know if you guys know who's doing the shooting, who they were shooting at, because obviously they're shooting down the alley at something. I don't know, but we need to get something done because we don't feel safe, and that's not okay.
No, agreed.
It feels like Twilight Zone. Once you get off this road, Down there, we have 1950s street lights and mine doesn't work and it hasn't for years. So that's all.
Thank you.
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got a plan of attack for this
Yeah.
kind of thing?
We're gonna finish with public comment and then we'll jump into that. Yep, no problem. Yeah, that's, I understand that we just gotta, we'll finish this, we'll loop back around. Brian, I apologize. I want to say it's Netzel.
I'm Brian Netzel. I live at 928th Street. And this shooting was in my backyard in the alley. And one of my vehicles got all shot up. I am quite upset that there is nothing seems to be going on with any extra patrols or letting us know if there's any individuals that have been apprehended. I'm very upset, and we need some answers. With all the evidence that was found out there, there's got to be a trace of who is doing all of this. And I hope that it can come to an end soon. Why do we have to live in fear? Every night I go to bed with a loaded gun next to me. This is not acceptable. I've been here for almost 50 years. And the past 5 years, every year, we keep having more and more crime. This has got to stop. Please do something about it. I want to leave you with one question to think about. If you were me and this happened in your backyard and your vehicle got shot, how would you feel? Why should we live in fear, and why should I have to put up surveillance cameras and have to have loaded guns in my house just to feel halfway safe? Please, please, let's have some answers and get this taken care of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last up, we have Gene Winters.
My name is Jean Winters and I live at 204 Yakima Street in McNary. And we have a lot of dead grass around our place. And there's a house that's been vacant for 7 years. Nobody live in it. You guys mow the lawn, take care of the trees and stuff, but it's dead. And if there's a spark or anything, it's gonna caught on fire. The neighbor between on the other side of us, that be west. Anyway, they got 2 boats back there, 2 campers, and they got propane and gas in it. If there was a fire and the weeds is way up high, and TISA just drives around and not give anybody a ticket
Ma'am.
and force it.
Ma'am,
And that's on,
ma'am, just one quick question. Please avoid from saying any public names of city staff members individually.
what's true.
I understand
I
that,
see
ma'am.
Driving around and not doing nothing.
Ma'am, I understand that we just gotta make sure we're keeping programs, but not individual employees.
Walla Walla has got bad yard, front and back. Yakima. Cyclocat. There's a van been parked there for a year. And it looked like somebody's living in it. And you cannot walk on the sidewalk because of the tree hanging over. Me and my husband used to walk around the block, and you can't even do that anymore. And I got pictures here to show you guys if you want to look at them. That blue house needs to be tear down because the roof is about ready to cave in because of the moss. And the side of the house, the wall is coming apart. And the backyard is dead. And we need something done about that. And just like these people, we had a shot up there at the apartment, again, shot up there. And a kid got hit in the head and they threw him to Portland. So there is a lot of shooting going on, and that needs to be taken care of. And Gary Brown, he's got almost a car lot dealer there because he's got a bunch of cars there. And that needs to be taken care of. And half of them is not running. And his place is a mess. And I need something done because I don't want a fire to burn up my house. And I'm sorry, this is the reason why I came to the meeting about speeders on our road, Yakima Street, and which there's a cop living down below us. It's been under calmed down because of that cop car parking there. I came here and there was nothing done about it. A speeder went down and hit a car. I talked to the cop, and the cop said that he was gonna put it on the list and stuff to patrol it. And I saw maybe one cop, maybe every 2 or 3 days. And it needs to be taken care of. Just like these other people on the shooting and stuff. What do we have to do to make you guys understand? Let's get something done. And that gal that drives around, she just don't do nothing. I'm sorry, but my Indian blood coming up, and my husband said, you need to calm down. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, this time, would we like to add a discussion item to a response to this on the agenda, or do we want to have a conversation about it now? We can kind of pick what action we want to go, or we can add it to the agenda.
I think I just was curious. I haven't heard of, or the.
We would have to amend the.
Yep. Let's amend
agenda.
let's amend the agenda to make this a discussion item for police shootings. Let's go ahead and looking for a motion to add that to the agenda as a current status.
Can we add that the beginning of the agenda? So that all these folks that are here for the one topic aren't kept all night.
We can make it,
We have to go in the discussion item.
yeah, we can add it under discussion items, yeah,
Okay.
11. So we'll,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to add an item to 11.1 discussion items regarding the recent items brought up at the public comment. Not that we can take any action, but we can have a discussion if that's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. I'd recommend you can have your discussion before new comment. There's no other discussion items on there right now. So if you'd like to do that first, you can amend it to add it and then do discussion first if you'd like to do that.
So, I would like to add it and also move it up to where it's actually our next topic to discuss. So
number
make it
7.
number 7 and move everything down if we can.
Perfect.
Second.
Okay, can we get a roll call, please, when Ms. Canval steps up?
Frenzy fingers over here.
Yeah,
He's doing a great job.
Just to clarify, you would like to add a discussion item as number 7 and then move everything down consecutively. Is that the motion, Mayor?
Ma'am.
Okay. Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Smith. Counselor Dennis McMillan. Counselor McLean.
Aye.
welcome to our discussion item for this evening. I just want to say thank you very much to the citizenry of Umatilla for coming up and speaking out tonight and then bringing this to our attention to ensure that we can address this correctly and give some solutions to a clearly a pressing issue in our community, the one that we're learning about with you in the room. So really appreciate you guys and thank you for speaking out. Thank you.
Yeah. If I may.
Yep.
You know, I want you guys to know we hear you clearly. We really do. And as most of you said, it's a difficult process to go through. It isn't as easy as CSI or watching Blue Bloods. You have to go through the process and it's difficult. And I'm sorry that you're living in that fear because nobody wants to be there, especially if you've been there. I don't care if it's been 10 days or 50 years. You shouldn't have that. I know that we have limited resources. There's no excuse I can give or explanation that's going to make it easier. But I would hope that, you know, I'm sure it's number one on Chief's list of things to do is to make sure that it's taken care of. I would hope. Do we have a plan and process or something, sir? If we can, I know you can't talk about active investigations. I understand how that all works. And, you know, 15, 18 years of gang task force, I get it. Do we have something that we can at least tell the community that we're doing?
Before we address Mr. Bridge, council members, is there anything that we'd like to add before we?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Mr. Bridge.
I'm curious what Darren's talking about too.
Yep.
I was
sounds
reading
good.
his mind.
You were,
Yeah, you
yeah,
know,
not much
yeah.
up there, but. you
I'm
know,
with you.
you
It's a
did a
short
good job.
story.
Yeah. Chief Bridge, do you have any comments or rebuttals to
Or
conversations
Dave.
or ideas or Dave's? Okay,
Mike,
he's got it. Okay.
oh, I can't.
So first, again, thank you very much. And yeah, Val, we've chatted the last little bit, a couple weeks as these incidents have occurred. I'll focus on a couple of things on the infrastructure side, lights. I hope you'll forgive some of the analogies, but when you flip on a light switch and there's cockroaches in the room, they scatter. One of the sort of unintended consequences of the improvements we made to 6th Street is we flipped on all those lights and the cockroaches scattered to the neighboring streets. And so we have sort of pinpoint data that we have been able to follow that has occurred. One of the things that's difficult is that we've applied for funding for safe routes to schools. We did get funding for Safe Routes for All, which was to create a transportation update and plans. But yeah, 7th Street, 8th Street, their corresponding alleys. It is dark on those streets. To do the full meal deal fix to bring those roads to a currently adopted city specification standard is very expensive.
What's your ballpark?
Right now we're estimating that, what did, Scott's on here. I think right now they're saying, generally speaking, a road improvement right now, not counting utilities, just the roads is about, 1 million per half mile. So $2 million per mile. And then when you add the utilities that come in with that, it's quite expensive. So for example, we'll be bringing you, we've issued our notice of intent to award. We just opened up for water and sewer improvements on Lind Road. That's about about 1.5 miles linear feet of just water and sewer pipes, $14 million project for waters and pipes. So in this case, so we'd have to figure out what our approach strategy would be to particularly 7th and 8th Street, as far as obviously lights are going to go a long way. I would think that's probably the immediate need to help with some of the aesthetics there. But then there's no sidewalks to separate pedestrians and vehicles, except for very rare exceptions. And then while we're messing with getting in there with roads, all those pipes we're sure are old. When we did 6th Street, we replaced both 5th Street alley water and some stuff on 6th Street as well. It cost us 7 figures to do those repairs. So infrastructure is very expensive. That's part of why we have on what we're trying to do with urban renewal. That's on your agenda now. That will help us address some of those immediate needs. But that's not the silver bullet. It's not the catch-all, fix-all, but it would certainly add, it's a big puzzle piece to the financial equation. As far as the here and now with policing and what we're addressing there, I'll kind of defer to you for a minute on that, Chief, and then I'll come back.
Yeah. Can I ask one more question before we switch over real quick? Dave, you talked about overall road improvements. What about purely just either fixing the lights that are existing or retrofitting them to newer lights?
Yeah, so there's a couple options. If we wanted to, again, please pardon the analogy, but if you wanted the sort of quick and dirty approach, some of the things that we have available to us right offhand is, so every power pole that exists in the city with rare exception, we don't own those. They're usually owned by the local utility, but their franchise agreement requires them to allow us to put our infrastructure on those poles. So we've done that before where we've put surveillance cameras recently in other areas throughout the city. We could put power on those poles that exist now, but again, they wouldn't necessarily meet our actual standards now. So we would all have to acknowledge that something is better than nothing, and then, while we sort of bridge that gap in between. And I think I've seen all head nods around the room. I think everybody sort of feels that way. And so that's one option that's available to us relatively quickly. We would have to figure out, again, you mentioned retrofit, Mayor. That's the right word. It would be a retrofit because it would be something off the shelf that we could energize relatively quickly. That would take some work and planning, but it could move relatively quickly. Was there another part of your question? I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, and I think that's something I think worth pursuing. I'm not sure if the rest of council agrees.
Yeah,
but I think a Band-Aid to the solution is better than trying to completely.
Yeah, because the other alternative would be to do ground disruption, install a new pole, do something there, and that's going to take even significantly more time than that.
I know.
I don't think lights are going to prevent people from shooting. I think that more patrol is going to. And I think the big thing for me personally, we need more resources. I mean, it's glaring that our city is growing. It's glaring that we need more officers. It's glaring that we need more resources, period, the end. It doesn't matter how you look at it. And again, it's only going to support again that we need to pass the bond for the police station. We need to get more officers. We need to get more resources. This is just another indication. So when all of this stuff happens and Walla Walla increases their gang task force, well, those cockroaches go someplace, right? So Hermiston, they start investing in gang patrols. They start doing, where do they go? The cockroaches spread, right? Well, we have to have the spray too. So consequently, these are all resources that we have to have. Everybody, we forget that the city was built how many every year, hundreds of years ago. Okay, our infrastructure is not set up for that. We weren't here for this growth, right? We weren't anticipating where we would be. We're here now. We need to think about 20 years from now. How are our kids going to be here? So let's think about the future. Let's invest in those resources to get those things taken care of. We need more officers. There's no way that we can support this anymore. This is crazy. We've grown how many houses in the last 5 years?
A little less than 500.
A little less than 500. So 2 houses, if there's 2 people per house, that's 1,000 people. That's a lot. And again, so when they have funding in Pendleton, the cockroaches go someplace. So just think about that.
Mr. Bridge, or any council members, any comments or questions? Chief Bridge, do you have anything to add?
So I just want to begin by thanking all of you. I think I've had personal conversations with the majority of you about this problem. Yes. I can tell you, and I'm not going to make excuses. We are in a position at the police department where we are trying to cover 24/7 in this city with 14 people. That is a very difficult task. Each one of my officers have been asked to patrol the subdivisions and to stay off 730 and 395. Not that they don't need patrol, but we need to get a hold on this problem. Pertaining to an ongoing investigation, I wouldn't be able to give you any kind of details on that. I can tell you that we are actively investigating it. We are working with the Umatilla County Sheriff's Office. We're working with Hermiston. We're working with Pendleton. We're working with Boardman. All of our detectives get together. They the greatest thing we can do for an investigation like that is the best we can do is collect the shell casings and send them off to be tested. We go to people's houses. We look at their security systems, their surveillance systems to see if they caught any kind of video. We've installed license plate readers into all of our cars. So as we're driving around the subdivisions, we're picking up those cars, and then it just takes time to go back, run those cars and see if we're kind of getting a pattern or cars that are seen in both McNary and down here in the city. So it is an active investigation. I can guarantee you that my detectives are working diligently and the officers are doing the patrols in the neighborhoods as much as they possibly can.
Thank you. At this time, is there any further questions or conversations on the discussion item as currently presented? Okay.
Nailed.
Okay, do we want to, council as a group, do we want to explore the retrofit light project further, or do we want to leave that DOA?
I think it would help, but I think Darren's right, though. We need to get more boots on the ground too. But I think it wouldn't hurt to throw up some lights if we've
Yeah.
got the resource to do it right now, or
Especially
Yeah,
to help
Dave-
make them feel safer.
yeah.
Could you get us some kind of a quote or something to see what that would take and what that would cost? And
We gotta, yeah, we need to do that, we're gonna have to do a motion to request.
Yeah, I mean, I can, yeah, whatever you'd like, council, as far as the way, as far as information goes, we can get you quotes, we can get you any other information, on this issue. I might recommend you have a police subcommittee, which, not only reviews, budget and operations, but this might be an opportunity just for general public safety. And so, it might be an opportunity, for that. So the subcommittee for that was Katie and Ashley. There is no Ashley, and I actually sent you an email last week about if we're gonna just put Lyle where Ashley was before. So we might need to do some official action on that tonight if that's the case. But if we can get maybe the subcommittee together, that will give us, now we can work on it in that group, like, a couple days a week until we sort of bring you something back here in the next couple weeks. And Val has my number. I've talked to Glenn several times as well. John, I haven't talked to you before, but anyway, I'm happy to get some numbers and try to work with as many as you as we can. And I think so that's something I would recommend if that's something that council members are open to. And then we can kind of go from there, but we can get quotes, and then we have to do some general coordination with majority of the power pool. In fact, these are all Pacific Power, so we'd have to get some coordination with them to let them know that we intend to exercise this clause in our franchise agreement, and we're going to retrofit to put these lights on.
Do you need a motion for that?
Dave, this is Scott.
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I wanted to speak real quick, just so folks knew kind of what we were doing as public works. So we do know we have a couple lights burn out on 7th that are getting taken care of as soon as possible. Most of them have to have new ballasts put in them, so they're on old ballast systems, so it takes a little bit to do that. But we'll handle it with our electricians and folks. We'll try to put together a cost for kind of what a general ballpark for each pole. They're pretty spendy, but we'll be glad to do that. The other thing is that got the on-call guy this week is going to be doing an inventory of all the lights in town, particularly those areas that we're having issues with right now, just to make sure what's coming on, when it's coming on, and that kind of stuff. So we are doing some proactive stuff to try to get ahead of this, but I just wanted to let you know we were working on it from our end as well.
Some of the issues with some of the existing poles is that, like I said, most of them belong to Pacific Power, and they're not our poles. And so I know there's people in the audience here tonight. We've been trying to get those lights fixed for 2 years, 4 years. And so, but it's not our pole. We keep making that request over and over, and we keep getting, yeah, we'll be out. And then they don't come out. And so I'll probably meet with Joanna here this week and say, can we just go do it and send them a bill for our time? Because at some point, that's part of the clause of their contracts as well, is franchisees is to keep their stuff operating as it's supposed to, in the right. We recognize lights burn out, but there is a reasonable amount of time to get back there to fix it. And 4 years is too long. And so
she's nodding her head right now.
Yeah. And And Scott mentioned inventory. We had Officer Skillman. One of the things that when Chief first started, I said, can you please have your graveyard officers when they're not on an active anything, they're not under code, that they could go and inventory these lights for us. So we have a list from there. We started chipping away at that about this time last year. Towards the end of summer last year, we got maybe about a dozen or so. The problem again, that there's a list and there's a lot. There's probably, this is anecdotal, there's probably about 40 lights, 50 lights throughout the city that are out, and we only maybe 5 or 6 of those are city lights. The rest of them are all owned by the utility.
Thank you. At this time, council, we're looking for a motion to request Dave to explore the light Band-Aid project.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to move this issue to the policing subcommittee. I'm expecting recommendations from that committee within our reasonable amount of time.
Do you want to add the lights as well? Or do you want to separate?
Yeah, lighting, if possibility of looking at cameras, I mean, any and every reasonable, suggestion to look at.
And lights.
And lights. Yep.
Lighting, yep.
Yep. Thank you. Looking for a second on the motion?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you very much. Can we get a roll call, please?
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Smith.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan. Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sometimes action is swift, so hopefully we get some light solutions for you guys as fast as possible. Really appreciate you guys being vocal and thank you for practicing your civic duties correctly and properly, and we appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming out. Moving on now to number
with your neighbors.
8.
My number with your neighbors. All right.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
Moving on to action item number 7. This evening we have the consent agenda. Do you have any questions on the consent agenda as it currently stands?
Mayor Sipe.
Yep.
We are on action item number 8 now.
You guys say
Renumbered.
7.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We're on action number 8 now. The consent agenda. Any questions as it currently stands? Okay, if no further questions, can we pass the consent agenda as it currently stands? Looking for a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
I'd like
can
to
I
make
make
a
a
motion, we
motion?
approve the minutes for August 19th. 2025.
Can we put them both together?
But yeah, both together. Just
Oh,
the whole
both
consent
together.
agenda.
So it'll be 8.1,
Okay, 8
8.2.
point. I'd like to make a motion, we approve consent agenda items 7.1 and 7.2.
8.1.
8.1, 8.2, gosh.
Okay.
Move them around.
Thank you for a motion. Can we get a second to that motion, please?
I'd second that motion.
Thank you. Can we get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Smith.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Moving on now to our new business item for this evening. Action item number 10.1, the second reading by title only of the adoption of ordinance number 879. This time is, can we get a motion? Are there any further questions?
Yes, I move that we have a second reading by title only and adoption of ordinance number 879.
Thank you very much. Can we get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. Can we get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Smith.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Ordinance number 879, an ordinance declaring that blighted areas exist in the city of Umatilla, establishing the need for an urban renewal agency in the city, and electing a method for exercising the power of an urban renewal agency within the city, creating Title II, Chapter 8 of the Umatilla Municipal Code.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to action item 10.2, city manager's request of approval of business ownership.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So there's Article 10 in my contract that allows for the possibility of for me to own a business among a couple other outside of my normal job activities. This one here, I'm looking to potentially start like a recreational vehicle, not RV, a recreational watercraft rental business. So like think pontoons and jet skis, or like if somebody needed a car but they didn't want to go through something like Hertz or something like that, I could have something like that available too. So the real idea here is that this would be something for my kids to do. I put up capital, have it operating in that way, but they're not 18. So, but I can hire them as my employees if I had a business set up. So looking to do something like that. But if that causes a lot of angst or heartburn, it's definitely something I'm not interested in trying to create, but wanted to see if that's something that council would be able or would be willing to consider. And if so, if they'd be able to approve.
I personally don't have a problem. I
don't
can't,
have a problem.
I don't
Don't
see that
either.
that you can be punished for being a citizen or a city employee and having a business. So, and any business that we can get, I think it would be welcomed. And I think that, renting pontoons or watercraft, like you said, I think that would be viable for here. That'd be great. That'd be great.
I have no timeline. Just before I put any real resources or anything into it, I wanted to make sure there was.
Next year.
Dave, I noticed you on here, you have some assurances. How are you going to ensure that you're not having actual potential conflicts of interest? Like what processes are you going to be in place to ensure that those assurances stay true and that we hold you to those?
Well, okay.
Yeah, it's a great question. Again, I haven't really gone further down this road other than I recognize why those terms are in the contract and this is what I'm looking to do. Some of the ways in which you do that is just so it's tough because generally speaking, hours of operation are 8 to 5, but that is not my normal hours of operation. It's literally 24/7. So it's really hard to say during non-business hours or something like that. But we could say things like during non-traditional business hours, but staff can attest to the fact that out of 5 days a week, I might take lunch once. Like I just work right through it. It's a really bad habit. It's not good for you. Don't do it. But it's so if for example, I had a phone call that happened at 12:30 or 1:30 in the afternoon on something like that, I might take that call, but then get back to work. So I just don't know exactly what it all looks like yet. I suppose before we hit the ground running and had anything going, I could bring something back or do some sort of check-in at some time of what that might look like, or if council, if you have any ideas on what do you need to see for me to see those assurances. I mean, the definition for conflict of interest with the ORS is financial. It's very limited. It's financial gain for me or my family members. There isn't really outside conflicts there. But that being said, I'm not really interested in any way, shape, or form of trying to create anything that creates sort of just bad optics. And so I just wanted to kind of work through that as well.
Well, and that was exactly what I was going to say. As long as you're not entering into a contract and signing yourself to give yourself whatever. I mean, I don't see that we as a council can enforce anything. You have your private time, you have your own time. And so I don't know, other than financial gain, there's no RS or anything that's going to back anything of that plan.
Dave, where would you store these vehicles at? Would you store them at the marina? You slips there?
It depends. So, again, I haven't gone all the way down this road yet. Before I did a bunch of all my due diligence, I wanted to make sure that I had sort of the green light to keep moving forward. So there's really a couple different options. One is to moor the boat in the marina, be a regular moorage holder there, and then all the reservation and all the work takes place offsite, be a website, phone calls, all that kind of stuff done. And so then probably one of my teenagers meets that person on site, goes through whatever my insurance requires for safety protocols to make sure they have their recreational their boating license, their one they all that kind of stuff. Yes.
I personally really don't care. That's your personal business and that's you run your business like you run it. All I ask that you don't go into contract with yourself and represent the city. And if you're on your off time, you do your business. If you're hired to be here 9 to 5 and respond as diligent as you're supposed to, that's all we as a council can ask you to do.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't need to see your business plan. I don't need to see how you're going to cash checks. I don't care. Has nothing to do with it. So I appreciate it and I thank you for bringing this forward, but it's really none of our business.
I love the fact that you're putting your kids to work. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I fully support those.
I appreciate the sentiment very much. I actually really appreciate the question, Mayor, because I mean, there's a couple of things. Our lease agreement with the Army Corps, for example, has very specific language in there about commercial activity inside the park. There are exceptions for like landing days and there are, but like guides, for example, we have about Josiah could probably say better than me. We have at least a dozen guides that operate out of that marina, at least the boat launch and that sort of thing. And so they have to be licensed with the Oregon State Marine Board. They have to have their proper cert, all those kinds of things. So I don't have all those answers today because I haven't I haven't gone that far down the due diligence path. Right now, it's essentially a business concept. But before I spent any resources, just wanted to get that.
I have no, me personally, and
No,
looking at
none.
everybody's face, we don't.
Love it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. At this time, we're looking for a motion.
Mayor?
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve new business item 10.2. And I move to approve the city manager's request to own and operate a business as presented by the city manager in accordance with Article 10 of the city manager's employment agreement.
Second.
We get a roll call.
Counselor Funderburg.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Smith.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Okay, this time we're looking for our second public comment section. Chief Bridge, is there anyone on the second one? Thank you, sir. Moving on now to the mayor's message. I just want to say thank you everyone once again for coming out this evening and having your voices heard. I know most of them left already by now, except for Miss Winters. We do appreciate your comments and we do hope that your voices heard as well. I almost forgot. I need to go back and fix this. I need to go back. I apologize, everyone. I had a piece of paper here I need to read for the second public comment section. Thanks, Dan. You gave me the eyes. This was sent to me on August 21st, 2025. This is addressed to the Umatilla City Council. Umatilla City Council members, I am writing to reinforce my prior request to our involvement in future planning with the proposed urban renewal district as a taxing entity and a regional education provider. We are committed to our mission of providing services to our families and students in Umatilla. If you move forward with the plan, I strongly encourage you to consider the model used in Morrow County, in which dollars are offered by taxing entities for future projects. IMESD would spend any money received on direct programs that serve the families and students in Umatilla. Your consideration is greatly appreciated. Respectfully, Dr. Mark Mulvihill, Superintendent of the ESD. All right. I apologize. Back to my mayor's message. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening. Short and sweet. I want to say thank you for Chief Bridge for continuing to protect and serve, and really appreciate you being here this evening and getting to see your face and get you back out and get you back protecting our streets. Other than that, that's all I have for us this evening. Good luck on your business, Dave. Hope it goes well. Fingers crossed. All right, going ahead down with, let's go with Mr. McMillan or Mr. McLean this evening. To start us off.
Short and sweet tonight. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for bringing up your comments to all of us. Fairly obviously, some of your comments were a surprise to us. So I guess the one thing I can think out of this whole thing is please don't be bashful about coming and passing along what your experience is in the city with us. It really is the only way that we learn what's going on. Other than that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan.
Yeah, I agree. Like I hate to say it, but I'm kind of out of the loop sometimes. I'm not really present on social media at all. And so I heard about some kind of automatic gunfire somewhere, was it a week or two ago? I don't know if it's true. Somebody was telling me through the grapevine, but I hadn't heard of these shooting things, gunfire. So I mean, yeah, that's crazy. I guess I'm ignorant sometimes, but anyway, we got a job to do. We'll do our best to, make sure you guys have the resources to do your jobs and so make everyone safe and not have to live in fear. Anyway, I'm going to keep it short and sweet too. That new school looks really great over there. And, it's all nice and clean and that whole area is developed and really cool. So anyway, everyone have a good night and God bless.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
I was so disappointed when I heard that there was a campaign to recall Mayor Site. We spend way too much time, energy, money even, fighting with one another. This city is growing in a great direction. If we could get over ourselves and do what the city needs, we would accomplish even more. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. McMillan.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet too. I appreciate everybody coming out. And I too didn't hear about any of the shootings. I heard about the one in McNary a few weeks ago. It's really disheartening. My son's friend was actually there to help the young man that got shot in the head. And can you imagine a 15-year-old boy having to deal with somebody getting shot in the head? I mean, he shouldn't have to see that ever. Nobody should ever have to see that, let alone a 17-year-old kid. But I know that resources are low. That's no excuse. Like everybody else has said, that's no excuse. But we just got to do what we can do, whether it's start with the lighting and go from there. Little by little, we'll get it done. So, but I appreciate you guys all coming out, and it was not good, the information we got, but it was nice having new things come to light, new people coming and saying things. So we appreciate it. So don't ever feel scared to come and talk to us. So, and you guys all have a good night.
Mr. Duclaw.
Yeah, mine's gonna be short too. I have a question. So beach access is closed, beach access road, so Bud Draper is gonna be the roundabout. How's that gonna affect our Rock the Locks traffic flow?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So we've had at least 3 internal meetings about that right now. One with just the public safety folks, one with parking and general logistics. And Scott can chime in here if he needs to as well, but that project is scheduled to be completed the first week of October, so 1 week later. We won't know until we get to about 10 days or so from now, maybe 15, but there's 2 sort of options, depending on how far they are in construction. They should be able to open, if they're far enough along, they can open up at least put steel plate down or something like that, or just have caution loose gravel, but open it up during that event. If they're not, if they run into kinks, because we're all familiar now that we find surprises every time we open up the dirt here. There's stuff we never knew was there. And so if that happens with this project, we have other logistical alternatives that we worked out. We've actually met with both chiefs, and we've worked with the contractors, I think, and we have a reroute. We can create, if we'd like, we can send out those. The plan is to send out those maps when we get about a week before the event, so because we will know what that looks like, but we won't know until we get there.
Worries. It's
on our radar and it's been discussed a lot.
I'm sure. I just wanted to make sure we have some kind of note of it. Again, this is glaring, but we really need to support this bond that's getting ready to come up here. Actually, I'm getting ready to start a PAC. So with that, we'll need support for the Friends of the Umatilla Police Department that'll be coming out pretty soon. So I'll be going forward with that really soon. So congratulations to Detective Colostro. She's not here, but I remember years ago her babysitting my kids. So that's wonderful. I know. Little Presley and little Briley. So Bud Draper Road, again, I really apologize for those people, J Street and down there. That's not a good thing. So, again, I can definitely sympathize with you, and I wish you best. So hopefully we can get some resolution sometime soon. And that's really all I got. Thank you, city staff. You're doing a great job.
Councilmember Funderburk.
I just wanted to say how proud I was of Isel Colostro, and thank you for her Employee of the Year. I really appreciate how the city hires our students from our high school all the time, and now as they moved on, and even like your children, child, and I just appreciate you've hired my child. You can hire him again. And he needs another job, but he's figure out his life. But I just appreciate how you're always willing. He can work for your boat company anyway. Please, no, yeah, no, but I appreciate how you are always willing to do that and hire our students. And yeah, thank you so much. Now we appreciate that. And I'm glad you're starting up the Friends of Umatilla Police.
Yep,
fabulous. And again. Yeah, I'm glad everybody came in and this all came out, the lights and everything. So thank you to everyone who showed. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, we're looking for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Mayor, before, if possible, can we have you put on the record your appointment for the police committee to make it official?
Oh, yes, I can.
Thank you.
We're going to appoint Lyle Smith to the police committee and any outstanding committees evacuated by Ashley Wheeler.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion on that?
We don't.
We don't. Okay, good.
Yes,
I just need it on the record that that's who's on those committees. They're his appointments.
Thanks, Dave. All right, we're looking for a motion to adjourn this meeting at this time. Thank you for your motion. Can we get a second to the motion, please? Thank you very much. Can we get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburg,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan, Counselor McLean.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.